Well, Reshley had a good one for us.
Yeah.
Our combination. Don't know if I can say it on air. I feel like there's just too many things I think of that I just can't say on air. Anyways, though.
Glad you don't.
Fnatic, I used to. Fnatic against HellRaisers on Overpass. Currently Fnatic with the 1-0 lead, trying to keep their hopes alive here to get into the finals of the ESL Pro League Season 9. HellRaisers on the T side going to be brushing directly in towards water as well here, getting some early control while leaving Oscar back to look for any sort of pushes, and he might have the opportunity here as JW is walking directly into a trap and directly into a bullet.
Yeah, even still, though, he was more of the man to find out the information, so you can see that there has been a stack, but the T's are not falling for it. They've rotated back. It's onto Brolin to try and do the damage in the pistol round. Dinked up already, manages to put Angel down to just 7 HP. Unfortunately, he's overwhelmed, but he's given time for Exist to rotate in, and he quickly finds a couple of kills himself. Nuki will fall, but it's left onto Crims. He did fantastically well in the previous pistol round. So many kills going to his name, but not this time. Nuki with 3, and it will be HellRaisers kicking things off with a win.
Did you just take my curse over there? Talking about how Crims did so well at the pistol round CT side of Mirage.
I think
and then
every
he
commentator is cursed.
Yeah, that is true.
Except Sadakist, he just seems to set things up so wonderfully.
Maybe he's got a crystal ball he can just read into the future with.
I'm sure that Henry helps him with his crystal balls. Double scout
Yeah, I just don't know what
invested
to
in
say after
from
that.
the CT side.
'Cause you said
I'd like
ball.
to see it.
It's, anyways, HellRaisers, yeah. Taking the first round as we move on past that topic. Whatever they do in their free time is up to them.
No judgment here.
I mean, they go on the road so often.
Let's just move away. Tag already being hit will help out the pistol players. Brolin with that trusty CZ, able to spray and pray the low players down, and I believe Angel probably traded out any rifle if he had one. JW in with a second chance, but just tries to hit the timing off the flashbang and won't manage to gather any more damage from the initial plays. And the T's are going to be able to take control of long, which in terms of the battles with the rifles, I think is the most important thing. By having those AK-47s down long, it gives you an inherent advantage up until the point when you're actually in the site, and then we can see those pistols doing some more.
Looks like they will be set up for an A execute here, though. And as you guys mentioned before, I think it was you, Chad, and Alex all mentioned that like HellRaisers have yet to lose a map on Overpass. Yes, it's only been like 4 total. But they still are undefeated, whereas Fnatic has 30-odd% win rate on this map. But with Fnatic already taking map 1, and victory in their sights, I wouldn't put it against them to take this victory here. But we're going to have a big push coming in from long. Crims just immediately being tagged up here. JW again hits another shot. So we do have 2 players on low HP. Exist with the Deagle. Could potentially capitalize off this. The problem is he's going to be by himself. Brolin could be finally rotating back into CT spawn to help out. Bong will be planted with 8 seconds left. He's actually pushing to stop the plant from going down. If he could just stall it a little bit longer, they might be able to pull it off here. But with 4 seconds left, it looks like Issa's just going to get the bomb down in the nick of time. And Brolin will be now in a 1-on-3 with only 1 player low in health.
Yeah, Brolin was having his fingers crossed that that wasn't going to be going down. And eventually it will be him to fall instead. 2-0. A little bit of a dicey round from HellRaisers, but they'll take the win nonetheless. Now going into this next round, it is just going to be an eco from Fnatic. Can't really afford to invest anything more. Maybe a pistol or 2 just based off having a little bit extra loss bonus than prior in Counter-Strike. But, well, anything more than that and they won't have their proper buy in the next round instead. So that's basically why they go for the investment into round 2 still, is because you can get the AWPs, you can have the full utility, everything you desire going into a round at number 4.
Twitch just looking for anyone pushing towards short. A nice little cheeky nade here, but it looks like HellRaisers again are going to use the gun advantage, play at long range. Don't give those pistols any opportunity to pick up some kills that HellRaisers don't need to give up in this situation. Of course, as you can see on the minimap, Fnatic have gone for a massive stack towards B, so HellRaisers will have free reign over the A site. But I still like how slow they're taking it here, realizing get every round we possibly can. Don't throw any advantage away.
Flashbang out to try and give a little bit of a chance. The CT's gambling quite heavily here. JW is on our flank, but I think it may be too little too late as his teammates have all fallen. Brolin, I like the idea. hoping that somebody will run off the edge and give him a knife kill. Instead, Issa just looks down on the youngster and gives JW last man left, and perfectly timed turnaround from Issa will give a third as well.
But here we go now. This is where Fnatic gets to properly buy up, get the proper weaponry. And HellRaisers, for the most part, have been really directed towards this A site. We did see a pistol round where they did like to actually go towards B, but once they realized the stack was there, they decided to make the transition back towards A. I wonder if they are going to invest into the AWP here. Nope, just going to stick to the M4, stick to the AUG as well. And Angel's still going to be on the Mac 10, though, so very confident that his team can take this round without the help of this AK, or maybe hoping a teammate falls so he can pick this one back up.
Yeah, there are definitely some viable positions to use that Mac 10. Well, there's already a weapon on the floor for him. Oscar's just taking the head clean off of JW Brolin. Looking for a little bit of aggression of his own. Boost would come in just around Crim's crosshair. I don't think he saw the initial jump, but he definitely will see that one. Fortunately, he doesn't capitalize on the situation, so CT's not going to get it back. Oh, no! Straight through the wood. Nuki double dinked. Now Brolin's still waiting in this playground, but it seems like the players might be about to have a little bit of a ring around the rosy as they both bypass each other.
I feel like that's easily going to favor Brolin, though, because the amount of distance that Oscar's going to have to cover to actually flank in towards the B side. The problem is Brolin has still held his position. Oscar is still pushing up towards CT spawn.
Yeah, it could work in their favor, though. Although Brolin will have a quick flank, if they just walk onto A through connector and nobody goes around through the spawn, they just have an A plant. There's no one there because they think that Brolin is holding down rotations. But the problem with his position is of how viable the connector is in this map. And, well, you can see where Oscar's already managed to get to. He can even just look to try and do some damage onto the players stacking B.
I mean, the thing is, connector's open. They know it's open. They know it's available. They're not even looking in the direction where Oscar could be flanking. They may be running straight into a trap here. He's just going to come around the corner. Not checking everything, and Oscar holding that composure. And there's one. And he's not going to get the second. He actually takes his finger off the mouse a little bit too early, off that trigger. And Bro, in the meantime, who was holding basically towards T spawn, just has got nothing.
Yeah, it was one of those positions where both players just crossed at the complete wrong time. Because you have to look from his position. He's never seen anyone get past.
Yeah.
So he assumes that they have just gone B. Because to go pushing through the connector when you don't know if anybody could be behind you is fairly risky. But because both teams see nothing, it was more just down to luck. Like, who goes in the right direction. For HellRaisers, they get the wraparound, and, well, a free A site is as easy as it can get.
Thing is, this position, this boost out of HellRaisers was used multiple times against Aristocracy yesterday on Overpass, and it worked every time too. I remember it was
wasn't it the other way around?
No,
yeah.
No, because it was Deha who got punished time and time again at Toxic from there.
No, it was Deha punishing LOL on the barrels.
I'll fight you on this one. Because I remember we kept wondering like how is Aristocracy not whatever. We'll move past it. The boost was used a lot yesterday. Yeah, and we're gonna probably see it a lot used today as well. So Brolin, I mean, what we saw just on Mirage in the last round, as they're able to save 3 weapons into the final round of that game, how important his AUG can be. And you see JW sticking with him to obviously kind of trade out if he needs to and pick up the weapon if Brolin does fall. Because this is not going to miss this shot, though, against Issa. So the man advantage, which Fnatic needed, has been gained. But look at Twist still pushing out with the Deagle. He's going to have a lot of company here. He's going to have to hit these shots. He actually gets the punish onto one. Not able to get the second, but spots the bomb out more importantly. And with the smoke there, it actually buys a lot of time for Fnatic to get people back towards this B site, which looks like Crims has rotated back in.
Exist left completely blind, though. The flashbang from Oscar perfectly placed, and Lau with a double entry into the site. Leaves Brolin and JW, who only has a P250, so he's pretty much just cannon fodder at this point of the round. Nade will already chunk him down 39 HP. He looks to try and be a little bit sneaky through the smoke. Now, Lau is fairly low on HP, so there's a possibility at least for that kill. And if Roland can find, well, he needed to find Angel for anything to really happen. It's still JW getting the kill on Angel. At least made things a little bit interesting, but 5-0, HellRaisers, they're coming close, but they're still winning every single round.
You have to wonder if, and there's so many ifs, ands, and buts there. If Twist got a second, if Exist maybe got the extra one coming through Monster on a Lowell. I would actually be curious to see how many 2+ kill rounds Lowell's had over the course of the last 3 months, because it seems like at least within today and yesterday, he's just really stepped up and really is able to pick up multiple frags, especially when HellRaisers need them. He's only at 4-1 at the moment, but the last 2 he just got in that round helped secure that B site. Fnatic, they do have the AWP, the double AWP with Twist and with JW. Brolin here to support JW. But HellRaisers in the meantime looking to take a lot of long control. Look how quickly they're doing it too.
It's been a position that's been fairly well exploited by HellRaisers so far, because it hasn't been challenged, which I can understand. It's one of those spots you don't really need to hold on to once you can get back to the site. The problem now, Roland being completely isolated, the spray through not going to connect onto him. He's looking to go a little bit more aggressive himself, but
Thing is, it's an interesting position, because if he'll most likely get one, if anything, unless he backs off. JW isn't helping hold that angle, so he could potentially be overrun. He does sneak away, and speaking of sneaking, look at Lowell, gonna be pushing up towards long. We do have like a 3-man stack here out of Fnatic, waiting to receive this push.
yeah, and they held on to an awful lot of utility as well, so still a smoke, 2 incendiaries. In fact, there's another smoke in there, I can't count. They're going to be able to hold this push back for quite a while. Lowell already taking damage. He has to go through, but finds the opening pick even still. But 25 seconds going down on the clock, because Brolin just looks to stay alive around this smoke. Rotation comes in from Twist, but he misses the shot as well. And leaves Exist on the flank. Almost denies the plant, but unfortunately for him, can't quite get the kill. And Nuclear will be able to wrap back around, plant safely. And there's even still Oscar. I will say, though, Oscar only on 20 HP. If somehow Exist manages to get this kill, he actually has a chance of winning this round, but it's not looking likely.
Well, if Exist dropped Snooki there, that would have been the bomb down with about 12 seconds remaining. Now trying to push in time, starting to run out, and gets caught looking the wrong direction. And HellRaisers continuing their reign, 6 straight here on the T side of Overpass. Looking to take us to a 3rd and final map of Train. And it wouldn't be a Fnatic game anymore in 2019 if we didn't go the full 3 maps.
No, that is definitely true. There was only one occasion of that happening in Sydney. So
Yep.
I think the more interesting thing for me here is that from what we've seen so far from HellRaisers, it's been their... What is going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's that fish pie you had for lunch outside. Still don't get it. You ask what type of fish is it, and it's just fish pie.
Yeah, but that's the same in a lot of countries, though. It's like in Poland, if you ask what's in the pierogi, it's meat.
It's pork.
No, it's
generally pork.
not. It's not always, though. I've asked them what they've ordered before, and they've gone, "It's just meat. Why do you care?"
I just I'm gonna stray away from that. The things I can think of right now. I don't know. We'll see how this is going to work out for him, though, as Fnatic need to come up with something to do a little bit differently. And again, you kind of wonder, there's like all these small moments that could have changed the tide of that. Maybe if Exist dropped the bomb carrier there as he's trying to plant. Maybe if Twist didn't get picked off so quickly, trying to snipe. The player before him, I want to guess it was Crims, who just got his head blown off by Lowell as he just came through with smoke towards long as well. Just so many like small, minute moments that could have changed the tide of that round and could have gotten Fnatic their first win on the board. But credit to HellRaisers, and the funny thing is, you look at their economy, you have 2 players still at like 2,900. They haven't necessarily been fully clean rounds, but with 3 players still above 6K, you can see that they've been able to take these rounds quite consistently with at least 3 players alive.
I believe as well, this is going to be one of the first times we actually see the loss bonus change going to come into effect. 6 rounds in a row, it's still only going to be counted as 5. If you lose 1 round, it goes straight back to 2,900, which I think is a positive change because the stacking up seemed a little bit ridiculous. Where you can just buy for eternity as long as you lose. There we go, JW with some aggression. The timing, just as bad as possible. It's sort of like being unveiled in like on the toilet or something like that. Like someone opens the door while you're there. Like you just kind of sit there and look at them and go, "Yeah, you should leave, please." That's what the situation I believe JW was just in on that ladder.
Just like the deer caught in headlights on Nuke yesterday versus
Yeah.
Optic. Through
I
squeaky
think that
door.
was him again as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fnatic with just pistols here, not really expecting them to accomplish too much, especially when Angel's able to pick up a nice swift double.
I think one of those was through the wall as well. They're making this look fairly easy. A clean round as well. Only Angel going down. He gets 3 kills, so he gets a bit of bonus money anyway off the back of that $900. So their money is really going to be booming at this point. And Fnatic, again, like it's reminiscent of Dust 2. It doesn't look like the team that we've seen fighting through a lot of the matches. It's almost looked like they're dead and buried. I'm hoping that something's going to change soon, but it's even the life in the rounds that they have. Like, let's go back a round or two ago when they had all of those grenades left when the push was coming in with 30 seconds left. Like, 9 times out of 10 in a normal match, you think they win those rounds. Like, they did everything right up until that point. So it does just seem to be a bit peculiar that HellRaisers can come out of any situation on top.
Well, it's kind of HellRaisers taking a play out of the book of Fnatic. It's not necessarily team play that's getting these rounds. It's this individual clutch play, like Lowell hitting that shot coming through the smoke. Angel picking up like a 2K. Like, they're constantly doing this. And again, we're seeing the boost out of HellRaisers. Crims this time going to hold his shot. Gets the finisher on Nuki. Love that sound when you fall and take damage. But now Fnatic finally have the man advantage, and they, again, still have a lot of smokes to use, especially towards this B site. As we saw before, that didn't win on the round, as we were just, talking about.
Crim's going for a counter boost of his own. The T's just looking to try and sneak through smokes. Always hated that. It's so unlikely that you're going to catch a player just not looking in the right direction, especially when there's multiple players on this site at the moment. Angel hoping for a bit of a pot shot, but it's going to be Lau looking for the openers once again. Not this time. And Exist really is stepping up. A 3rd kill for him in the round, and Angel looks to try and scurry away. 30 seconds left, and the bomb on the site. 5 Fnatic players waiting for him. I think this is going to be their first round on the board.
I just really want to see that commentator's curse happen right now. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. JW. Well, if Angel's going to die, he's got to do it soon. I don't think Fnatic are really going to chase this, though, as he's going to push in. Obviously, he has to be very careful of his money here. Obviously, could drop from a teammate, but we have 3 over 10K now. And Fnatic finally get on the board, more importantly. Now the question is, can they continue to do this over these next rounds on their CT side?
Yeah, I think they need to, especially because, as I was sort of mentioning before, HellRaisers T-sides, from what we've seen, at least on other maps, have been fairly lackluster. And the fact that they've been able to just brute force a lot of these rounds is so prominent for them, because they have had strong CT sides. Like, although it seems a little bit like they've just plug and played, like they put a lot of teams into different positions, or different players, sorry. Like, note the CT side we had coming out from Nuki and Oscar on this map. They were fantastic. Like, the double play they had over towards A, it basically just meant that their opponents, the Poles, were just unable to get anywhere near that A site, so they had to try and just keep brute forcing their way into B, which even then stopped working. So, yeah, I'm definitely a little bit worried for Fnatic now. They're going to have a strong T side no matter what happens, as HellRaisers have already got 7 rounds, but it can get a whole lot worse than that, because they've only got 1.
It's nice to actually see for HellRaisers that Nuki, who finished at the highest rating of his team at 1.19 yesterday in their best of 3 up against Aristocracy, he doesn't need to step up as much when you have plays like that happening out of Angel, who's currently on 9 frags. It's nice to see that the bearing of pressure isn't just on one man's shoulders here.
There's something so beautiful about seeing SG kills without the scope. Like, I just really enjoy it. You don't seem like you share the same opinion.
I'm trying to think, what weapon do I enjoy seeing headshots with the most?
Dig.
1 digs are satisfying, but I feel like one
PP
USP is... Okay, now you're just making crap up.
Hey, 1 taps to the PP Bison, that is impressive. You can't deny. Or Negev. It's impressive because you don't see it.
It's impressive because it takes 100 bullets to hit that 1 headshot.
The 8 headshots you get and still don't get a kill.
I do miss the bug that happened like way back in the day with the Tech 9, where like a decimal point was in the wrong spot, and the running Tech 9 was just like perfect aim.
Well, there was also the R8 revolver, which you could kill
No, we don't talk about that.
3 players with 1 bullet.
We don't talk about that weapon.
That was a fun day, I'll be honest. I enjoyed that day. I'm glad they removed it very quickly, but that one day of just going up against Orpas with an R8 was a lot of fun.
Let's be fair, you didn't get any kills with the R8.
I did. I have a beautiful R8. Either way, Tease just walked into the site. Crim's trying to clutch this out, but he can only manage 2. The third was close, and actually Oscar had an AWP, so there was a chance he could have got all 4 if he just managed that 3rd frag, but it's all ifs and buts, and that's pretty much been the brunt of the game so far from Fnatic. It's like, if they'd won this kill, if they'd done this, and it's been every single time HellRaisers have managed to come out on top. Now, they are still going to have the loss bonus coming in, 2,900, that will be built back up after this round, but ultimately, if that's what you're sort of singing and dancing about on the Swedish side, you're in a lot of trouble.
And again, I think that was Issa who just pushed long through a smoke and just opens up onto the player on site. Like, there's so many times now we've seen over the course of this map in particular with HellRaisers, where they're not afraid to push a smoke, and they're not going to really miss those shots either. It just comes down to Fnatic hitting their shots and winning these duels that they should be able to, not having to depend on these clutches happening. I mean, Crims, he got like a nice double there, wasn't able to spray down onto the last 2, but to ask him to get a quad spray down, to win a round, and to get your 2nd on the board over the course of your CT half of Overpass it's too much to ask.
I think at the moment Fnatic might be the epitome of playing to the level of their opponent. Like, we used to see it from VP quite a bit, where like the old VP, when they could play against like a tier 2, tier 3 team and it'd be really close and they'd win, and then they'd play against the top teams and it'd be exactly the same. And it feels like no matter who Fnatic are against, the game is close, they lose a map, but a lot of the time they manage to sneak it through. And it's kind of weird. Like, the old Fnatic, the legendary one, would dominate lower tier teams.
It reminds me of, actually, I think Wendigo was the team. Is Wendigo or AGO that reminds me of playing down to the level of their opponents, or playing to their opponent's level in general. I think it was at Booker's Gaming Week, and we saw Wendigo just not be able to beat teams who should not even be in the running for taking a map or even a match against them. But right now, Fnatic need to figure out what they can do here. You saw, obviously, the timeout coming through, talking things over of what they can change into these next rounds, because HellRaisers, 8 rounds T-side, are looking pretty happy. And at the pace they're going, I think we can easily see 10 on the board for them.
Well, Issa's monster curse definitely hasn't changed from yesterday. But to be fair, when you're 8-1 up, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as frustrating. JW still looking to lurk around the toilets area. And seems to have the right idea on where Lowell is going to be pushing from. The only problem is there's a player actually sneaking through mid, but again, Spidey senses tingling as he goes for the peek, but then both players spot him at once. JW is going to fall, and another kill coming in for Angel. We talk about those T-side opening picks, and Angel seems to be back on form. A fantastic CT half from him in the last map, but a fall off on the T. Now with 15 seconds left, they go into this corner again. It's not Crims this time, it's Twist. Exist already rotating in. There's not that much time left, but Angel gets another kill. A 3rd on the board already. Exist still with a chance, though. If he can kill this man and just escape, but the bomb goes down with seconds to spare, and Oscar will close him out. Again, it's close, but not enough. Exist with a triple kill. The same for Angel, but the round, always going the same way, heads off to HellRaisers.
The position JW had in toilets, though, he had no backup. No one watching towards long. He had to cover connector and towards birthday party all at once.
It's an all-or-nothing play.
Yeah, it seems like, well, if you hit one and there's 2 players there, you're probably going to fall. You're probably, at most, going to get a 1-for-1 trade there. I'm not sure exactly why he was in that position necessarily. I'm not going to question it because he's way better than I am. But I thought it was interesting, and I thought maybe it's some breakdown in the side of Fnatic at the moment. Maybe some frustrations coming through where JW is like, I just want to take this game and win. I want to take the round off my shoulders and just win a round and finally put 2 on the board and double what we currently have. But now it's looking like HellRaisers up against the 4 Spy with pistols and 1 FAMAS. Should be able to hit double digits here on T side of Overpass.
Which is not something you want to see if you're a Fnatic fan.
Yeah.
10 rounds T side of Overpass is a fantastic sign for HellRaisers. They haven't reached it yet, though. But even still, just with the 9 that they have, they're in a very good state. Fnatic were very good at winning rounds with the pistols in Dust 2 yesterday. It was just the buy rounds where they really struggled. So we see if they can work the pistol magic once again. Exist with a bit of extra money after the kills he managed to get in the previous round will net him a FAMAS, which is arguably worse than all the pistols, but each to their own.
Kind of surprised to actually see Fnatic consistently give up long. If we think back to, I think it was the second round where JW had a scout, he actually was watching that position and trying to punish HellRaisers. You give him an AWP there, I could imagine you could pick up, a couple of frags and maybe net Fnatic around here. Issa, nice little shot onto JW again. Crims, the Deagle on site. Pretty much gonna be almost by himself here. He's gonna look for the first. Is this actually able to chime in and get one himself? Crims trying to play ring around the Rosie with the smokes, with these crates. Flashman to come through, and he's gonna be completely blinded up, and now Twist, the last man, trying to come in on a 1v2 with a Deagle in hand.
Yeah, tough position, and they're actually going to fall back to long. Now, he knows for sure that one player's here, but I highly doubt he saw anything to do with Issa, and he won't even get Nuki anyway. 10-1. Again, it comes a little bit closer. There are a few moments in that round that I think it mainly came down to Issa as the cleanup crew, like able to not only pick up the man rotating in on the flank, but also kill off Brolin, who just about retrieved the one rifle that was dropped to the floor. So without him, could have gone a little bit worse. But when it comes down to it, again, HellRaisers are still pushing forward double digits on this T side. Fnatic looking lost so far. Both JW and Twist currently only on 2 frags apiece, but it's not like anybody really has stepped up to the table. Exist has had a moment or two where he possibly could have won them around. I believe the one round that they did win was him getting a triple again. But this time JW switching his spot.
I almost
playing into mid.
I almost want to call that JW's going to kill Issa here. It's just been the bane of Issa's existence.
Are you trying to counter curse the curse?
Oh, come on. Big stack towards B for Fnatic as they're starting to retreat away, though. Angel going to push up. Issa died. Hey, we got one on the board for me at least. 1-for-1 trade not going to be ideal, though, especially since Fnatic already rotated players away. But luckily for them, HellRaisers have yet to actually flood the site, yet to rush in, get this bomb down. Twitch trying to play up close towards water. Actually get tucked in on site. Chance for him to actually pull off a big play here, but Angel again. Another double kill for this man. He has been performing so well in this best of 3.
He's had fantastic first halves, but they're going to bail out. I like this call. They know that the rotations come in. They've got 40 seconds. They've been playing into the late round anyway. You can already see Lau just waiting patiently to see if there's anyone into the connector. And he will be able to hold off rotations if they get there in time. That's the only problem. They are burning this clock very low, and you have to feel that eventually Brolin's just going to make the call to go back onto A. So he alone is likely to be the defense, but Crims has also made the same call. It's just taken too long for them to actually get towards this site, and once again, we're going to witness a 15-second moment for HellRaisers to get on towards the site. Crims going to be smoked off. They can't actually do anything to deny this plant unless Brolin can hit the shots, but they will be able to try and stop these after-plant possessions, and Brolin with an important double. Lau now going to be the only one left alive in a 1v3.
He's got a Molotov as well to delay the defuse. You can see Fnatic trying to spot out where he's going to be. They have an inkling he's over towards toilets. Defuse going to be coming through, being stuck. Low's going to peek. A little bit late here, though. And that should be the bomb defused. And Fnatic will finally put a second on the board. You still have to wonder, as you're talking about the rotates coming through, if Brolin left a second earlier, he would have seen Angel crossing from long with the bomb to actually go for the plant. So they could have denied the plant. In the end, it didn't matter because they won the round anyways. But again, those small moments, those small little, decisions, those minute decisions could change the tide of how those rounds are going. And honestly, I feel like with how many times it's happened over the course of this half, we could be seeing Fnatic at least at 5 rounds. XM.
Let's go.
I almost want to call it now. Long range through monster. Issa's going to die the XM.
Now, if that happened... Oh, God. Why? Wait, so he's
going to push the smoke and kill Issa with the XM. No. He's not Dia.
Let's go. I actually really like this little spot. It's quite difficult to actually spot players over onto the railings. As Exhibit A, it will be Issa going down. The XM looking to do some damage. We're still yet to really get a proper kill with this gun. It was attempted yesterday on Nuke, but unfortunately failed.
You just sound like Banks to me.
What?
Was it the silenced MP5?
Yeah, but that gun's actually trash.
Trying to make it happen.
There are viable positions for shotguns. that gun is just worse than most SMGs.
You know how happy he was when it was being used really heavily in the beginning? Saying, "I told you, Jason."
And then everybody was like, it's kind of just a worse MP7. In fact, that's exactly what it is.
All right,
You can be stealthy.
next time I see Banks in an event, I'm definitely going to rub that in his face.
As well as other things, of course.
Yep. 4-on-4. All of his gym selfies, actually. You know, how can you tell you've been to the gym if you don't post a picture on Instagram about it? 10-2, 30 seconds left to go here. HellRaisers in the driver's seat. Look how close Brolin's playing to the smoke. And JW hits a fantastic shot on Anuki. Nice little flash comes into Angel, delays, and JW again finally has the op back in hand. I feel like this is maybe the third time over the course of 13 rounds. He's been able to get a nice double, and now Oscar by himself against 3 with 10 seconds left. Maybe he can get the bomb down, but that should be all that he can ask for. And now Fnatic are starting to pick up some momentum. 2 rounds back-to-back, but it might be coming a little bit too late here on Overpass. They have to have an astounding T-side to really bring this game back. Yeah,
that's for sure. I think it's going to be a tough task, but again, if there's any team that would be able to do it, I'm looking at this one at the moment. They seem to, well, just as Crim's worded it, like, we want to be that team that has that never give up attitude and is just difficult to play against, and that's what they're going for. And
you kind of need that attitude when you go 3 maps almost every single time.
That is true. The other thing to note as well is how close a lot of these rounds have actually been. When we were looking at, what, 10-1 not too long ago, and now we're at 10-3, and HellRaisers don't have a bye.
Yeah, I think I actually like that point about how close these rounds were, because we did see like multiple times that just like one different decision or one different shot hitting for Fnatic could have won them the round. And they've definitely been punishing HellRaisers. They've been getting, you know, multiple kills in these rounds, just not enough to cross that finish line and lock a round down for themselves. JW, non-existent now as Oscar just takes the heads off of him. Rescues the op as well.
Yeah, that's the last person you want to be giving an AWP over to. Oscar sat there. Issa just tries to play a bit of a distraction, but Oscar's a little bit late on the peak, and Brolin's just managed to spray down 3 once again. But even with that triple kill, they're still left into a 2 versus 2 situation. Angel left with just a dig. The AK well placed from Lau. He wasn't spotted. Exist knows he's in this corner. He only has 1 HP, but he's got Angel trying to help him out. However, Exist will get that trade-off. Leave it into the 1 versus 1. Make his way forward into the site and finishes off Angel as well. It will be another round on the board for Fnatic, a 4th in their favor, but they are still far behind, and that was still way too close.
Exist and Overpass clutches. Name a better duo.
Yeah. He's been good so far. The thing is, in a lot of the rounds where he's been getting these multi-frags, they haven't been winning.
Yeah, that's a shame too. Really unfortunate. I mean, he got a couple of, I think 2 or 3 3Ks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think the one round that they won prior to these 3 in a row was based off him getting a multi-kill. And there was at least maybe 1, possibly 2 more, where it didn't actually achieve anything. Just damaged the economy.
Speaking of damaged economy, Crims does only have a Deagle investing into the utility over a weapon. Gonna be trying to help out Brolin, who was looking for potential push. JW getting burned alive here. Down to 58 HP, trying to punish Angel if he's going for a short push. And again, that flashbang comes through. Angel leads the charge. Unluckily for him, though, he's going to have no one to drop to give them a man advantage.
Oh, attempted spray through. Not going to achieve too much, but will at least keep the T's honest. Going to start taking some control into middle as well. And this was something that we actually didn't see too much from yesterday from Aristocracy, was that they were so dedicated to B sites that we never had any lurkers, we never had anybody holding off the backlines. We didn't see any of the sneaky plays, for example, the one we saw from Oscar earlier in the game.
Yep.
I think that's just the level difference. Like, even though this HellRaiser side is fairly new, they're all damn good at this map. And I think it really shows, like it was mentioned on the desk as well, that this is clearly a favorite of Angel's. And I think from the calls he's making, that's why they've had so many good rounds on this T side so far.
Well, we're also seeing that, you know, HellRaisers are actually making mid-round calls, whereas Aristocracy just kind of, whatever game plan they set out for on the beginning of the round is what they stuck to. Now, 30 seconds left. Brolin has the ability to put a stop on this push. Able to get 1 here, but we do see the rotate coming from Exist. Lowell trying to set them up with a smoke. Is he expect Crims to be here with the Deagle? Oh. Twist kind of actually forces Lowell to turn his attention. And it's down to Crims in a 1v2, not able to take down Lowell. The bomb not really gonna have time to be planted here with 4 seconds left, and it looks like Fnatic will finally come back and put 5 rounds on the board.
Yeah, clearly the resurgence of Fnatic starting to begin here, but can they turn this around and make this a 2-0? We will be finding out after a short break.
Welcome back, everyone, to the ESL Pro League. We are into our first game of day 2 of this group as we're into stage 2. HellRaisers currently down 0-1 in the series up against Fnatic, but on a positive note, they won 10-5 on T side of Overpass.
It could have been more.
Definitely could have been more. It also could have been way less with how we saw Fnatic getting so close in so many different rounds.
Yeah, a 10-1 scoreline where Fnatic actually managed to rally the troops and finally get themselves a few rounds. Now they really want to be getting this pistol off to a good start. Otherwise, you are fighting from quite a disadvantage. It's already bad, but well, you know what they say, it could be worse. Oscar already going to be going for that early peek into middle. Gets the information, because this is almost the sort of classic strategy from teams is 4 players B, 1 player mid. You rotate if anything's spotted, and straight away you've already witnessed Nuki making his way back over onto A.
And Angel, more importantly, has gathered so much information here. Now as Crims was over towards Connector, and if he can continue to push up like this, this could be looking like HellRaisers is going to take the pistol round for another time. Oscar, oh my gosh, 13 in health, still takes down JW with the fadeaway shot. Now the push is coming towards A here, Tom.
Nuki to get something done, but already closed out. Oscar's still going. He may be low, but... Well, it seems at least the T's may have forgotten him, but we're not. 2 kills. Lau rotating. Oscar still in on the flank. Does some damage. Doesn't at least kill off one more. And Twister's actually chimed in with another, so making this look more doable, especially with Twist finding that extra frag. Now Angel is left all on his lonesome, and Exist will close him out. Fnatic, they get themselves that pistol round. They get the strong start over on the T side. Likelihood is, however, we are going to see the force buy, and Twist does not look happy.
I mean, they all looked really unhappy after the first half, like when we were heading to break. Very disappointed with her performance. And that flank out of Angel there, it reminded me a lot of Brolin, like we saw on CT side of Fnatic, where he had an opportunity to actually pull off a massive flank as they're heading back towards A. But again, the speed, the pace he was moving, this pace of Angel there as well, was just a little bit too slow to make that flank work out.
It's probably based off not knowing exactly where a lot of the players are. So he can't just run through just in case he just gets wrecked for that exact reason. But it's sort of easy from our perspective to go, oh, well, if he was quick, it would have been great. But
I mean, you're also dependent on your teammates to stall for time, too.
Yeah.
To tell you, all right, there's 4 here, you can push or something like that. I'm not trying to criticize him anyway, just kind of the unfortunate situation that he was in. Crims might have a lot of company here, takes down the first, and Issa will take him out of the fight, at least in this round.
Yeah, JW with one of the other SMGs, just looking to try and get some extra money. And for sure, Oscar getting a kill wouldn't go amiss, especially when going into the next round. The chances of an AWP, at least with Kevlar, are slim. And we saw exactly how that sort of double up of him and Nuki yesterday worked. Him with the AWP, Nuki playing a little bit more aggressive, and it was fantastic. So definitely want to see that coming in today. The problem is that's why you normally see, at least when Fnatic are playing, for example, you lose the pistol, you force up second round, save the third, have a strong buy with AWP and grenades in the fourth. The way HellRaisers are about to do it, they lost the pistol, saved the second round, buy into the third, which means there's going to be limitations. Yeah, they'll still have a few grenades, maybe one kit, but if they do have an AWP, it's not going to be with Kevlar, unless, of course, Oscar gets a kill here with the MAC-10, but doesn't seem like he's really in a position to do so.
Looks like Browan's able to take down Oscar there, able to take away the MAC-10. Not a big victory in the end, but a lot of extra money for the side of Fnatic. I think this is where we need to start to see them get riled up. If they can take this gun round here, I think there's a legitimate chance that we could see a reversal in how that first half to go. You know, again, not to just, you know, beat a dead horse, but there were so many rounds on Fnatic CT side where it honestly could have been in their favor. They could have taken those rounds if just one more kill happened, if one person was like a second earlier to a certain position. I feel like that's something we can say about a lot of games, to be honest. But at least in this case, there was just so many moments where like Exist had to get like a triple kill, or Crims had to pull off a 4K to win the round. He was only able to get like 3. But Fnatic are starting to go on the war path here.
Looking to try and make a fast play in towards this B site, but the heavy amounts of utility invested into by the CT side has stalled them, at least for now. However, the incendiaries are gone. It's only the smokes that remain. Twist looks to try and close out low, but he's just throwing out grenades and still just surviving in this corner. He hasn't been Molotov'd off, but there it goes. Now he is just going to cook down. Twist will even put him out of his misery before he burns. He's just got a bit of an off angle. Without anybody pushing through short, he could be in a good spot. I get flashbacks to moments of Dupree and a Deagle. Fact is, though, he's going to do the work with an M4, but only manages one. Expected a little bit more, and maybe needed it as well. Angel at least will be able to pick off another, however. And Crim's so low on HP, can't really get much done. Exist will be the one it's left onto. Angel going to come jumping in from the heavens to try and close out this round. Crims has gone on a long rotation back towards the monster, trying to retrieve that bomb. The kill comes in for Angel, doesn't know where the second player is. Peeks back around. I think he may have spotted the corner. The pixel of Crims, who is so low on HP that getting anything done here is going to be so tough. I think he's more just trying to bait out Angel's angle, try and get him to push forward and reveal himself.
I think his Angel has so much health left. Crims with 4. Crims does have the AK. He's not looking the right direction, though. He's starting to push up. 10 seconds left. Angel trying to play the time to go spot Crims out and clutch the round here for HellRaisers. Puts him on 3 kills in that round. And puts HellRaisers up to 11. And gets them around they desperately needed as well, considering they invested everything into that really shoddy buy. It was a good buy nonetheless, everything they did have, but the utility they had was a little bit lacking there.
Yeah, and they had an MP9 and stuff. It's something I wanted to point out in the previous round. Between top and bottom on HellRaisers, there was a 2-kill difference. Now, it has changed because Angel got a triple kill, but if even still, just look at the kill distribution on HellRaisers at the moment. Like, we talk about being a sort of star-studded roster and picking up international players. Every single one of them has had their moments in this game so far.
Definitely Angel on the T side, too. The amount of times he was able to push short and get like a 2K was really quite surprising. But Fnatic could be lacking on utility this time.
Same for the CTs, though. And that's because only one player actually survived from the previous round. Interesting, because they don't have an AWP, it's now going to be Oscar up close and Nuki being the one sort of taking the initial fight. I think that may be because it's just sort of the FAMAS over the AK in terms of like who you want actually getting into the thick of the fight. So I would rather have the man with the AK-47 able to get in the faces and almost use Nuki as a little bit of a sacrificial lamb, but Oscar looking for that early face, but he loses to the CZ. Brolin just seems to be an absolute beast with that gun. I still stand by the fact that the Swedes have always been the kings of the CZ, even though the French had a pretty good run at it. Flusher with a CZ, there is nothing better in existence. Angel holding in the corner, sprays 2, a third as well for him. I don't know how he's getting away with so many different multi-frags, but he's brought this round back into possibility. Note the fact that his teammates hadn't even rotated yet. They were still just waiting on B going, yeah, this guy's probably going to be a save. Don't really need to move. We'll just wait to hold on to our guns. And now, Angel's gone, right, get your backside moving. This is a 2v2.
Again, if Fnatic lose this round, so many times, we're just one play. If they just killed Angel a little bit earlier and didn't give him a triple, that they could have had another round of their belts. Twist going to be up in a 1v2 now. Takes down Eason as a second player is going to be here as well. Flashbang comes through. Lowo's going to turn away from it. Twist gets the spray down, saves the round for Fnatic. And again, the individual clutch plays out of Fnatic players is setting up some rounds for them to finally take.
I felt like this is a game of who can clutch harder.
Yeah.
Like, it's just who is better at pulling off the ridiculous plays, because that from Angel, like, we've seen similar things in this game already from the likes of Crims, from the likes of Exist at points, just sitting in this corner. It seems like both teams are really struggling to sort of clear this close truck. But the fact that Angel manages to almost single-handedly win the round, and he was close to even getting a 4th kill there, is worrying. But the nature of this game so far, 10-5 half now, 11-8, definitely not seeing this game as being too far out of Fnatic's control. Bear in mind that this could mean that if Fnatic lose the whole series, well, firstly, HellRaisers are through, and they have to win their last game and hope that everything else works perfectly for them.
They have to hope that Optic don't win.
Yeah,
then they'll
basically
be up 2-0 as well. And of course, Optic versus Aristocracy will be coming up as our next match. Waiting in the sidelines to see who's going to take victory from that one. JW with the ump. Pushing basically into a 5-man stack here. Oh my gosh. That moment when there's just so many people on your screen, you don't know which one you want to shoot for. And you kind of shoot between all of them.
Yeah, and you also have 0.2 seconds to do it.
That as well.
Oh, Crims at least is in a bit of a safer spot. Bomb going down on the site. This is all about damage for the CT side, hoping to remove some of this weaponry, force rebuys for Fnatic, not allow them to build up any cash at all.
Well, the thing is, they're going to rebuy anyways, right? Or most likely, because they only had 2 AKs in this round.
You'd think, but I wouldn't be so surprised if we see them go for a faster play into that B site.
Oh, Crims wants it. And Twist is going to get it. So now Fnatic, 9-11. Considering it was a 10-5 half, and it just looked like there was so many missed opportunities for them. I didn't really expect them to get back, but at the same rate, because those rounds were still so close, I guess you can never count Fnatic out.
Well, also for HellRaisers, they've never got what I would call their prime buy. Like, you've not had Oscar on an AWP.
On CT side?
Nope.
Or on T side, you mean?
On CT side.
Okay.
On the T side, they had almost unlimited money at points, so on their CT side, we've not seen the AWP yet. And if we have, it's now, for example, we don't have a lot of utility. So they haven't actually just been saving up the money to get the proper buys on the board, which is something that for sure the Swedes like to do, to make sure that they have everything they want. As said, I'm not surprised to see them keep the SMGs into this round. It is just going to be a fast play, a bit of a cheese play into the site. The information's already been found by the CTs that they're not coming towards A. They've already pushed all the way through middle. The only thing is at this point, it might be too little too late because the Ts are making their move.
And they're starting to rush in through here. You can see 3 players in water, completely blinded up. And look at this, just spraying them down. Issa and Loa able to get 1 apiece, though. So they've actually done some decent damage to Fnatic. However, the last 2 players, like you mentioned before, are nowhere near to be seen. And Oscar should probably be thinking about saving this AWP unless he can get a big kill here. Twist plays that angle perfectly, not giving a shot to Oscar, but able to spray him down. And I think this is going to be HellRaisers giving up number 10 to Fnatic.
Yeah, those are the sort of rounds with SMGs that are actually really hard to fight against, because the one benefit that you really have with, well, for example, the MAC-10, is you don't have to let go of W the whole time you're there. You can just keep running around, keep moving, forcing players to sort of take the control away, and then you give the rifle players so much more space, because basically there's an idiot going, look at me, and then they have just the sort of free shots to do whatever they want. So
Sounds like you played that role before.
Oh yeah, it's a great role to play. It's a lot more fun.
I was always the designated bomb carrier, unfortunately, with the people I played with.
Were you the guy who had like 50 points and 7 kills?
Yeah, and they were like, why is, I'd always say like, yeah, why am I number 1 right now, guys? And like, yeah, look at kills.
I
I'm
bet
like,
you
well,
didn't say, why am I number 1? You were like, guys, come on, just get on my level.
Of course, of course. I didn't ask them, I told them
It's like,
I'm number 1. It always was so tilting for me, though, because they would always drop the bomb. And I wasn't like I was designated, it was just more like, I'll be a support player and be like, all right, I'll fill in what we need. I'll just take the bomb everywhere. And then they would get mad at me when I went somewhere else with the bomb. It's like, guys, let me play the game. But hey, that's how I got global, so I'm not going to complain.
Well, a bit of time being taken to talk this one through. Fnatic bringing this back. They were 10-1 down. They're now only down by 1 round. So
yeah,
definitely showing that resilience that Crims talked about in the interview earlier. This round, even still, is not going to be a particularly good one for HellRaisers. They are investing into it. They'll have some pistols alongside the AWP. And you're still going to have that deadly duo of Oscar and Yuki. But the problem is they haven't had much impact so far, because either they haven't had the setup they wanted, like with the right weaponry, or they've gone B. And in which case, retaking in a 2 versus 3 or whatever the scenario is not going to be something too easy for them. Straight up, Crims taking that early fight.
by the way, we've been talking multiple times about like how many 2K plus rounds players have had. Angel's currently at 7 on just this map. Issa's at 6. Lola and Oscar at 4 apiece, and Oscar's actually 6-2 in opening duels. And look on the other side for Fnatic, and you have Exist at 5, Brolin at 5, and then you have Brolin actually the best at the moment at 4-1 in opening duels.
Yuki.
Yeah, true.
Double spray down.
He'll be at 3.
That's going to give them a chance in this round. This A site has always been that sort of lockdown spot. The only problem is JW. He's managed to get quite far towards this A site without anybody really knowing. And although they may actually not rotate back in this direction, his flank could be so valuable, especially now that Angel's actually spotted Crims. The rest of the team is still going to be fairly far away, but you can see the hesitation from Exist to rotate. He's watching to see if anybody's out on the flank. He knows that they don't have control over towards the toilets or over into mid. This is going to be another round that all comes down to timing.
There you go. Able to get the kill. 20 seconds left. Oscar going to actually take down Crims. However, the bomb has made its way in towards start. They're going to come through, do some really good damage to Exist. So now it's down to a 2-on-2. But again, retaking with the op and with Nuki down to 26 HP is not the most ideal situation. The thing is, Oscar's been pretty much cornered off here with that smoke. Not able to really assist Nuki here as the flash going to come through. Now we're going to blind up on anyone. You can see Fnatic using this to advantage, realizing we can hold towards CT side. We can make them come to us.
Yeah, also, there's no kit. So the CT side really need to get their move on unless there's one down on the site. Nuki already low. Oscar will be able to connect, but JW is fast on the trade and will even retrieve that AWP for himself. And you can see the frustration starting to build in onto that HellRaisers side. They were winning 10-1. Since then, it's completely switched, and they've lost 10-1.
You'd be a great math teacher. Professor Tom.
I don't think I would. I'd get frustrated very easily. Just throw a chair or something. Or a student. A very small one, of course.
I was going to say, I don't know how strong you are.
I feel like when you were like 13 years old, you're probably already like 6'4".
I was probably around 6 foot, yeah, when I was 13.
Lord.
But there was still a girl in my class who was taller than me.
And
Always
she
frustrated
now
me.
plays Olympic basketball.
No. Actually, I don't know what she's doing. I think I just recently added her on Facebook.
She's helping cats out of trees.
Yeah. Fire department calls her up. Mary. I think it was Mary Ludwig. I think that was her name.
Just
something like
drop
that.
her name on stream.
Like you're gonna find who that is.
I won't, but people might. Well, we're gonna see the T's once again lurking into middle. Some aggression over towards long this time from Nuki. We do have the purchase, and again, not a single kit to be seen on the CT side. I still stand by the fact that they haven't had a single 4-buy in this game. This is one of the best ones we've seen with the AWP available, but it is a bit of a problem. And their ability to hold has definitely been, well, poor. JW timing absolutely ruined as Angel peeks at the exact moment he looks away. Outside Monster Lau. Here's his opponents. They're actually going to opt to try and push through the smoke, and it's Issa just to spray them down. Okay, his teammate falls in the meantime, but I've said it before, I'll say it again, I really don't like those risky smoke plays. I understand the idea behind it. The clock starts to get low. You want to force the issue. You want to catch a player off guard, and they did. Unfortunately, Issa was just ready for that wide peak to ruin the remaining players as they tried to run without vision.
With not really any economy on the side of HellRaisers. Not going to chase this one down. Going to allow Twist to save the AWP into the next. But more importantly, HellRaisers will stave off this rot that's been happening consistently here. They've finally been able to take a round, go up 12-11. I wonder if JW is going to be given the op yet again here, or if Twist will maintain it into this round.
Well, you do see Twist a lot of the time AWPing for them on the T side. It is one of the real benefits of having like multiple primary AWPers, or from at least from previous teams. So JW has always been more prominent playing CT side AWP, well, at least for years and years since the sort of, I want to call it the JW nerf, when they changed the sort of movement speed with the AWP. Like that was pretty much just a nerf on him, and maybe a little bit on Kenny as well.
Yeah, I was thinking Kenny as well. Ah, the good old days.
I miss that. I miss these two just running riot around servers, causing people problems. They still do. They definitely still do, but not to the same ludicrous extent. Either way, after a long streak back, HellRaisers have managed to take themselves the lead once again. And again, it's another one of those situations where you can talk about how the rounds definitely haven't been clean. As Fnatic, they lose a round after a long, long streak, and they already have to drop down to a D.
HellRaisers have been so open to holding long A so aggressively, whereas Fnatic just gave up that position for the most part. Ooh. You see them expecting a flash to come through as the smoke dissipates, and Crims takes complete advantage of this. So now the defenses of HellRaisers are going to be spread extremely thin. However, Nuki's pushing up, and look at what you can see here. Twist just waiting by the monkey bars. I actually don't know what thing is there.
It's just a game of cat and mouse at the moment. Is who going to peek first? Standoff in play. It's going to be Twist, and he loses the battle as well. Turns things back into a 4 versus 4. Oscar about to come under some pressure, but he flicks up and takes out Brolin. Has the utility to try and hold them back as well. Is this looking to re-peek? He's going to try and round his own Molotov, knowing they're up close. This AWP has just become a shotgun. But with only one shell, he will actually scope in to find that kill, but looks to go back around the corner. Oscar trying to do it all on his own. Instead, he'll hand an AWP over to JW. But still, only 25 seconds left. The wraparound starts to come in from Nuki, and JW's definitely aware of the possibility. The problem is, do they even have time to get into this site, clear out Angel, who got a triple kill last time from this exact position, and get the bomb down? They're going to have to hard peek him out. Angel with the world at his hands, and he's going to do exactly what he needed to. The kill comes in, Nuki's in the backline, Issa even steals it at the end. And although it came close for Fnatic again in one of these rounds, it just seems like HellRaisers were prepared for everything.
Yeah, Oscar, the ball's on this guy. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to commit to it. To just go for the re-peek like that. to play that up close. I mean, he did, I think, technically have a smoke he could have backed away from, but look at that. Just catch them looking the wrong direction. JW wasn't able to save Exist's life, and now I'm going to see another pause come through, this time out of HellRaisers to talk some things over.
Well, I like that. I think that's another situation where you've been on a long loss streak. You finally stabilized and got yourself back in the lead. You know that if you win this, you're almost set going forward into like getting yourself into the Pro League finals, which is their goal. Like after that point, okay, sure, seeding is nice, but once you're in, that's it. Like that's all you really care about in these sort of scenarios. And from Fnatic's point, they know that, well, if they can take this 2-0, fantastic. But ultimately, it might just be frustration, especially because it's for both teams now. HellRaisers with such a ridiculous lead. Fnatic able to bring it all the way back to 11-11. If they now lose from here, it's going to be one of the most annoying games they've ever played.
A lot of discussion there with Angel, trying to figure out what to do in this round. Again, their economy isn't too safe at the moment. And Fnatic could come really close to equalizing if they can somehow take this, but with just pistols, just a couple of P250s and a Deagle spread in there. So they're going to try to pick up the pace quite heavily here and try to rush them down. The smoke going to provide some cover to Nuke. Oscar's going to be there as well to help out, but Brolin takes down one. Oscar missing a shot. It might get rushed from this one, but look at that. 1-2, shuts the front door as he takes down JW. And again, it seems like the two teams just thriving off the individual plays of some players. Oscar has to be so happy about that one because that gets them one step closer.
That's how happy he was.
Almost, wow.
I was close. The second shot was sick. Oh. Just as good the second time around. 14-11, 3 rounds in a row, and Fnatic, they've got the AKs back in play once again. It won't be so easy for Oscar this time.
You talked about HellRaisers not having that full buy on the CT side. They've finally been able to accomplish it. They had full nades across the entire team. They had the weaponry as well.
And they have kits.
And they have kits, more importantly.
I want to see this sort of Nuke Oscar double team. And that looks like what they're going for in this round. Oscar being the more aggressive of the two, which I think is always a good sign. Like, he's feeling confident. Issa as well has now started to take extra control on the map, and that's where things start getting really scary for Fnatic, where HellRaisers are feeling confident in their fights. Maybe a little bit too much, though. Oscar still going to be able to find the kill.
Such a difference in style of taking short, too, where we had Angel being flashed in constantly by his team. Oscar getting
finally punished.
Way too aggressive there. But yeah, Crim, so he peeks in towards short without a flashbang, gets dropped by Issa, where we saw Angel just, I think, like 2 different rounds I can think in particular, where he was able to get flashed in and able to pick up the double himself. But Exist is really starting to show. 2 kills for himself, only 1 person on the site.
It's the same spot. Oh, never mind. It's been the most successful spot for everybody so far in this game, but they expect Lau to get this far forward. Or Exist... He's going to check. He's definitely going to check. And that's the right call to make. Just takes his time, doesn't rush things. They're not up against the clock in this scenario. Make sure that every single angle is cleared before making their way forward. Because that was the only way that they really lose that round, is if he doesn't check and then Lau gets 2 kills.
Or a triple. I mean, let's just, you know.
Or 3. I was being kind to Fnatic and saying that they'd at least punish him off the second.
Well, Issa last alive. It looks like he's actually trying to push up for this one. Again, the economy's not really there here for Fnatic. So if he can punish them and do some damage still, could give them advantage here into the next round. But we're approaching a breaking point here for HellRaisers mentally. After, like you said before, a 10-5 scoreline. Fnatic to get it so close back. And the thing is, such an important match here for HellRaisers, knowing if they win, if they come back in the series and take the next 2 maps, they're into the finals. 2-0. Especially if Aristocracy wins up against Optic. So we'll have 2 teams at 1-1 and 1 team at 0-2.
Wow. It is... Once again, a buy coming back up for both teams. Mac 10 in for Crims, which, I don't know, that sort of suggests that they might want to go for something a little bit quicker, or at least he does. But Twist also has an AWP, so there's sort of a little bit of a hindrance there. He's going to take some early damage. Again, wants to try and take some water control. This time there isn't much of a challenge from the CT side. They're just playing more passively. It was successful in the previous round, but I guess they're just going more on an angle of let's just try and switch things up. And Crim's actually going to be forced out of position. They're going to go for the boost. The thing is, though, he's pushed far enough forward that he's out of their vision.
And funny enough, he retreats back as well, back to that corner once the Molotov does fade. Again, the aggressive play out of HellRaisers towards long. Oscar looking for the shot. Nuki pushed up where he won the 1v1 up against Twist before. Brolin's actually going to be run boosted out. Misses the actual boost, and Nuki's going to punish them for this. Gets one, gets two. Not able to get the third onto Exist. But that's what can happen. And now JW actually has been pushed up and not punished. Flashbang comes through. He's been able to tuck himself in tightly on the site. But is he going to be able to make anything happen off of this? He's gathered so much information, too. Pretty sure you just heard a player running up from CT.
Angel pushing the bank. This is pretty much the worst angle for JW. That's why he keeps like switching to it. Because if there's a push here, there's absolutely nothing to do. I think actually Oscar only had an incendiary, so he literally uses that as a distraction. However, they're going to make their way onto the B site. Lowell is waiting. Even still, a 4 versus 2. This seems like an impossible scenario for Fnatic. But Crims actually manages to pick Issa out of the air, maybe a little bit early with his push in. Exist needed that kill, however, as Crims has got to try and get 3 kills with a Mac 10. Now, there are a couple of low players, but by the time I finish the sentence, the round has already been finished. Yeah, but basically what I was saying, I'm pretty sure that Oscar uses that incendiary just as like almost the most expensive fake flash you can do. Except maybe,
look at me.
Except maybe Simple's one where he used an AWP in the B site.
Now Fnatic looking to struggle here up against HellRaisers, and they're on map point. Yeah, that run boost. I really wonder what would have happened. Like, would Oscar have hit the shot into Brolin? Would it have turned out the same way anyways?
I wouldn't doubt Oscar when he's got 22 kills. I'll be honest. But at the same time, those are the most painful deaths. When you go for something a little bit audacious and then it just looks ridiculous with you just basically walking out into the crosshair of an opponent.
Nice small top, by the way, there. I think that came out of JW to stop the push in towards Connector. It's allowed them to get a lot of solid control here towards short. Issa being tagged up by a teammate. Was that? No, what was that?
No, that was through the wall in spawn.
So that was Exist.
Even still, though, Lau's going to be the one to get the first frag. Issa can't really take too many repeats here. He's down to just 23 HP. Lau, however, with a full tank of health, is the one to take the battle and reduced Exist down to just 19 HP. 15 to 12, a chance for a third map on the cards for HellRaisers. Fnatic just slowing right down, starting to take some control around the connector area, making sure that if they need to go for some faster rotations back, they still have an opportunity. They do still have to be careful, because Angel is the one lurking. Again, a change of personnel around this A site. With Oscar still there, of course. You're not going to move that AWP with how he's been playing.
Can actually peek into the site here, JW. He's watching the boost, and oh my gosh, to hit that shot. Lowell as well is going to have a lineup for 2. Brolin's going to get 1 and the second as well. So now there's a chance to actually take the side if Nuki doesn't win this battle. Crims comes in big when they need it most. And Crims is going to watch the flank, and Crims might be able to have this one as well. What a job by the duo here of Crims and Brolin. Bomb to go down, Oscar pushing in. And know where he is. He's trying to spam down with the P250, switches over to the AK. Crims flanking from behind, both players on low HP. Brolin's going to have the 1v1 first and hits the shots. God. And somehow 2v5, Fnatic pull it off and keep their hopes alive here in this map.
They had 11 HP between them at the end. That is absolutely ridiculous, but somehow this went their way. And I was sort of in agreement with you here when you said, oh yeah, Law has the lineup for 2. And then there was just this, just a snap out from Brolin to take the second player down. This as well, just maybe slightly helped out by the smoke, but I really don't think that's the case. 15-13. Another chance for overtime. Another chance to turn things back. And if it gets there, I do question the mental fortitude of HellRaisers, because it is like a new team. It's a team of players that have been through a lot of different rosters, a lot of them being dropped by those rosters as well. The pressure on them to perform here is big. And if Fnatic bring things back, well, we know, even from interviews, from whatever they've said, that this team definitely sees themselves having that mental fortitude to bring back any position. They were 10-1 down in this game, and they are just 2 rounds from bringing us to overtime.
Now look at what HellRaisers have in their kit. Not much to use here in terms of weapons and utility. However, Fnatic isn't looking as clean. They do have an ump, but more importantly, a lot of utility to use here. They know that HellRaisers have been challenging long multiple times here on the CT side. The run boost failed before. Oscar not going to be blinded up. The second one comes through and does catches him out, and he does miss the shot, so he's giving up a lot of ground here. But he's going for the repeat. Gets the damage to Brolin, but again, forced back away. There's still going to be Nuki pushed up, though. And it doesn't look like he's going to be given an opportunity to hit a shot, as Fnatic have backed off.
I think HellRaisers know in this sort of round, with the weaponry they have on some of the players, they have to try and make these riskier plays, but Twist and Exist both finding frags to get themselves further forward towards this site. It's only going to be Oscar defending it. The rotations come in from Issa, but more importantly, the T's have gone back to B. Lau has used one of the last remaining pieces of his utility belt to slow them down at least onto Monster, and the rotation has come in from the remaining members of this team, but it may not matter. Crims with a quick entry, looking for Issa as well, who only has a pistol. It's mainly on Oscar with the AWP to try and put down some of these remaining Fnatic players, and with a 1 versus 4 currently in play, I think he has to basically take the opportunity to just run for the hills.
I think he doesn't know how many players are on site, too, so look how cautious he is at running away. I don't believe Fnatic can really chase in onto this, though, because they're going to need to take this final round, and they know that HellRaisers is not going to have too well of an economy to really fight back.
Yeah, I would actually like to see them try and take this gun away. Just because if you've seen an AWP, you know they've forced. If they force, they don't have the money. So if you manage to win this round and they don't have anything, it's going to be so much better. Oscar having an AWP, 24 kills. It is a possibility for him to steal that round away. Now, they are looking to try and close in on him from the flank. I think he knows this. You can see he's just going to sit at the bottom of the stairs. Doesn't take that much damage. Even if he'd walked further back, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference, and he will be able to save.
If you're Fnatic here, do you avoid going long A? Because considering Oscar's been holding this position, or are you going to read into it that they might rotate him somewhere else towards B? Because that's been the general pressure that Fnatic's been using.
I don't think, even with someone like Oscar playing, I don't think Fnatic are going to ever avoid a player. I just don't believe that them of all teams will be like, oh, we can't go near Oscar.
Well, even when it's their like only one weapon?
Yeah, I don't think they do it. Because the second you start trying to read into an individual player, you start sacrificing things of your own game. Okay, maybe they should. Maybe they should, if he's going to do stuff like that. But no, I genuinely do stand by that. I think, because if they start trying to read where he is, maybe there'll be a change from HellRaisers because they think you're trying to read where he is. It just comes into ridiculous mind games at that point, so you might as well just focus on your own round.
Well, Oscar has rotated from the A site back towards B. And Fnatic now down a man, looking to find some sort of entrance. Brolin going to be run boosted out again. Oh, if Nuki hit that shot, I would have screamed so loud. So they at least know there's a scout on the side of HellRaisers. But again, you're going to have to respect these pistols, especially if you try rushing in towards a site. And with the pace that Fnatic are moving, they might have to do just that. 45 seconds left to go. And they're going to have to make their move momentarily. Luckily for them, Oscar's not here.
Yeah, the AWP has been rotated away, so the option to just try and push into this A site didn't really come into play when it came to that AWP. New Kid going to try and force the issue, but can't get anything done. Issa's there with the Deeg. They're just going for the Hail Mary plays, and none of them seem to be working. Roland spins around and takes off the head of Lau. And he's even trying to close out some of his own plays. What is that from Oscar? Straight through the wall. And he was close to getting Brolin as well. He still has a chance to try and do this on his own. It would need to be the ace from the AWPer of HellRaisers. Going to be rotating back through the bank. Brolin is waiting for him. He peeks in but can't quite connect the shot. It was a great attempt from Oscar. That shot through the wall is disgusting. But unfortunately, especially for HellRaisers, this has hit overtime. Everything is reset. Money is given to all, which is what we like to see. And Fnatic have a chance to 2-0 the series.
To bring it back from being 10-1 down, as you've been saying multiple times over the course of this map.
It's worth repeating, I feel.
Yeah, to not be tied at 15 apiece. And you mentioned the mentality of HellRaisers. Can they maintain it throughout losing an advantage like that? And you can see the face, you know, their coach, face of the players. They're looking frustrated. And
it sounded like he just said, just play your default. I think that's what I heard, but...
Well, the unfortunate part for HellRaisers is that they have to play CT side again. Because T side is where they're really starting to build up steam. 10-5 T side of Overpass.
At the same time, I feel like we didn't get to see too often them with like all of the money available to them.
You're
like
right.
it was a couple of times for sure, but I'm glad now that we have the permanent fixture of Oscar's AWP. We have the support from him, and this is the exact setup that I really enjoyed watching yesterday versus Aristocracy. Like these two players playing off of each other, and it was really successful. The only difference is before Nuki was absolutely ruining everyone. This time, well, he's already going to be overwhelmed by Brolin. He's leaving a lot more pressure onto Oscar, and he's not going to be able to connect the no-scope. The youngster putting down his elders in this scenario. Angel trying to hold up close, looking to get rid of Brolin. Exist, wanting to try and support as these risky plays are eventually punished.
Bought so much time with that too. The problem is the bomb. Actually, I thought it was going to go back towards connector. So the rotates have come in out of HellRaisers, which allowed Issa to get in a position on site. Shutdown exists. Now it looks like Fnatic will make the move back towards B.
The thing is, though, the CTs are going to do it as well. Wow. Already, but they've split the defense. I can understand it, but at the same time, it's a difficult choice to make. Twist already going to be able to cross. Actually, Crim's there a little bit later. He'll be left, and because of that, they actually managed to get the bomb down. Twist now left into the 1 versus 2, dunked down by the nade as well, as the players are going to encroach on his position, and Issa will be there to take the first round in OT for HellRaisers.
So then what? Angel stalling for time like that, playing around the edge of the smoke, might have bought the time for HellRaisers to rotate back in. And then, of course, the read into the push back towards B has to be frustrating for Fnatic. Because if they did earlier on, if they didn't continue to push that A site when they did, you know, pump the brakes for a couple of seconds of time, they would have been there a lot sooner and obviously would have been able to get the bomb down. But again, we have the hindsight of 2020. We can see the entire mini-map and HellRaisers have been able to take a very crucial round here. But they really struggled on that CT side to get much.
Yeah, I think it's also quite a peculiar scenario for all of the CTs to rotate through the stairs and not go through the connector. Like, so when you're thinking of rotating back in the late stages of the round, you always take that into account. Like, okay, do I want to go through the connector when I don't know if there's anybody just waiting for us? So I can understand the decision. At the same time, as said, hindsight shows us it was not the right one to make. Fnatic, not looking like they're going to give many chance of rotations this time, as we've already got a man in the connector. A push out from Crims will be met by Angel. You can see the temptation of Issa to help out. In fact, he's going to go for the peek onto Monster instead. Get the trade-off. And advantage not going to be kept, but even still, 3 versus 3, especially on a map like Overpass where rotations are so strong, normally benefits the T side. Yuki's position could be the most valuable, though. It means that the quick rotation has sort of been cut off.
Oh, JW getting caught on the jump, too. Brolin being forced to turn back around. I don't know how he's doing it, but now it's down to a 2-on-2. Fortunately, turned into 2-on-1. However, Oscar's taking a lot of damage. Exist gets the big kill on Nuke, and he knows exactly where Oscar's going to be. 35 seconds left. He can play with the time. He can run back towards A. He can fake it if he wants to. Looks like he will commit for the push back towards this site as Oscar's rotated as well. Down to 19 health. He needs this one shot. And Exist is taking the long road here.
Oscar's read this perfectly. He's going to hit the shot as well. I didn't expect anything less from him, really. Did you see the second that Molotov goes down? Oscar's already walking back. So it can't be heard by Exist. He gets that extra timing to get up to the A site, and then he hears Exist start running, so he does exactly the same thing. So, yeah, just pretty much read exactly what Exist was going to do. And that is going to be the equalization once again. Actually, no, wait. They've got a 2-round lead. Sorry, that's my bad. I just assumed that Fnatic were going to win that off the start. 17-15. Both teams in with a full buy, of course. 16k MR3.
Remember, it's Fnatic we're casting, so 3 maps is probably going to happen.
I don't mind. I really don't mind.
Well, Train will be our 3rd and final map if we do get to it, but still HellRaisers need 2 more to make that happen. Nuki pushed up again with Oscar to support. Oh my gosh. JD was actually going to push straight at connector. Nuki wasn't watching it, but luckily Oscar's able to hit the shot. Brolin's going to fall as well, and HellRaisers looking to take a 3-0 on CT side. Nuki's going to catch out Crims on the rotate, and Fnatic are just falling apart here. Oscar was eventually finished off, but still, Exist and Twist have all the world to do. Would have to pull off an ace between the two. Now 2-on-3, more realistic. The bomb is still back towards T-spawn too, so it's not like they're committed to any of these sites just yet. And if they can somehow take down Lowell, who's pushing, then it could net them a free B site.
I don't think he'll go too much further than this. So this position is just horrific to clear. Like, the angle is horrible. It's not one you normally check. So if they go in this direction, you'd almost assume they'd lose. The only real benefit would be if they go into the connector. The thing I'm a bit confused by is how slow they're moving.
Yeah.
They have 22 seconds to make a choice. Twist is going one way. Exist is going the other way. They're finally going to join up, but they've got 15 seconds to get onto a site and get the bomb down. They're almost just hoping that there's no one here for some reason. They've thrown down the smoke. UK...
Oh my gosh.
Come on, you gotta get this kill. In fact, this teammate almost kills him off. But instead, finally, we see one of the players going down. Exist will eventually be closed out. It took him a while, but it won't matter. The bomb plant is worthless, and it is going to be 18-15. 1 round is all that is needed.
I was getting real scared there for HellRaisers if Exist could somehow pull off that clutch. Oh, just be a story of Sydney all over again. But now we're moving to the side of HellRaisers where they put up a 10-5 scoreline, the T half. And you would imagine they have to be able to take out one of these 3.
That's the thing, though. I've always found in Counter-Strike that overtime changes everything. No matter what happened in the prior game, it makes no difference. I've seen teams go back-to-back getting 3 rounds CT side nuke, then back-to-back T side 3 rounds of nuke. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, a lot of the times we see teams even mirror each other when it comes to overtime. And a lot of it comes down to individual plays, quick thinking, and maybe just having a cheesy strategy that you can throw in just to try and get you over the line. But we'll see whether or not Fnatic can bring back some CT prowess. We've seen HellRaisers do it. They've now got all of the tools, all the utility, the AWP. There's no excuses in this round anymore. Just comes down to the individuals.
I'm hoping for Fnatic, though, that they're not going to allow Angel to rush through short like he's been able to do so many times over the course of this map. Looks like the execute's going to come over towards B. Going to push straight through Monster. Exist is going to fall, and Issa's going to be the one to claim his life as he now rounds the corner. Crims awaiting Twist as well, trying to get the spray down. Brolin's going to be able to pick this one up and pick up a second as well as Crims. They are just chiming in left and right here with these kills. Oscar's going to be overrun eventually, you would assume. But he's able to back away with 45 seconds left. There's still a chance they could turn and head back towards A, and Nuki just gets away with his life somehow up against Twist and Toxic.
Well, Brolin goes for a little bit of an information pick. He's going to get killed through the wood. Turning it back now. Nuki's almost trying to sell this as still being a B play. Oscar's been gone from a long time over onto this A site. Making his way through long. Same play we saw previously out from Exist, except this time the amount of players on either side has doubled. The rotation's going to take a bit of time as well, and in fact, we're just going to get the safer truck plant just in case anybody's around the angle, though. Crims is actually going to manage to find that kill. Leaves it onto Oscar in the clutch. I think he knows he has to get this kill very quickly indeed. Spots out Crims and hits the shot as well, but he doesn't know where Twist is. So far behind, he's going to wrap around from the same angle, and Oscar may be caught in the back, but spots him at the last second! And HellRaisers take us to a 3rd. It's Oscar in the clutch. A fantastic performance from him, and the frustration from